Let's get straight to the point. Someone is talking about you right now. You don't know it, but it's happening. It doesn't matter where you are or what you're doing. Your name is floating in a conversation you will never hear, in a mouth that doesn't have the courage to tell you to your face. And it's not just any opinion, no, it's a distortion, a cut-out story, manipulated, wrapped in a tone that turns what you did into something completely different. And worst of all, is that the person telling it does so with a smile, as if sharing a harmless anecdote, when in reality they are injecting poison into the perception others have of you. That person, the one who is talking behind your back right now, is not your enemy. They are worse. They're a gossip, someone who hides behind the disguise of concern but whose true nourishment is your mistake, your fall, your scandal, even if it's invented. And you know what's the most twisted part? They probably tell it to someone you consider trustworthy. Gossip is not just a simple conversation. It is a tool of social control. It is a virus that spreads from ear to ear, infecting reputations, destroying bonds, breaking identities. But nobody wants to accept what it truly represents. Because gossip disguises itself. It disguises itself as confidence, closeness, I'm only telling you. But in reality, it's a trap. Gossip is an act of emotional cowardice. It's the way mediocre people feel power without deserving it. They don't need talent, they don't need courage, they don't even need truth. They only need to talk. And the juicier the lie, the louder their voice. Think back. Has anyone ever started a sentence with you with, "No offense, but..." That phrase was the starting shot. From there on, everything that came next was a calculated demolition. But with white gloves. The gossiper doesn't attack head-on. They operate in the shadows. They don't seek justice, they seek entertainment. And if you fall in the process, better. Because the gossiper needs victims, not truths. And the most unsettling thing of all is that they can be anyone. A coworker, a family member, a supposed friend. People who greet you with the same mouth they use to tear you apart when you turn your back. Do you know why they do it? Because other people's pain is a spectacle. Because they need to fill the emptiness in their lives with something other than facing their own failures. And you are a good character. Your life, your story, your mistakes, your decisions, all that is fuel for an outside narrative you don't control. And here is where the real psychological horror begins. You become a product. A story. A distorted version that circulates without your permission. And the most disturbing thing is that you can't stop it. Because gossip isn't confronted, it spreads. And when you finally realize it, you're no longer the one defining your image. They are. They, who have done nothing with their lives but observe others. Those who transform their insecurities into projectiles disguised as concern. This video is not just about gossip. It's about the emotional rot that generates it. It's about the dark psychology hiding behind every phrase shared in whispers. Because nobody gossips without purpose. Every word has a recipient, every comment has an intention. Gossip is a form of power. Twisted, subtle, dirty, but power nonetheless. The gossiper doesn't want you to know they're stabbing you. They want you to smile while you bleed. But here comes the truly unsettling part. What if you've done it too? What if you were once the one who spoke when you shouldn't, who planted a doubt disguised as concern, who enjoyed that microsecond of superiority by telling something that wasn't yours to tell? This story is not just about what's done to us, it's also about what we allow, what we stay silent about, and what we perpetuate. Because while you are trying to move forward, rebuild yourself, free yourself from your mistakes, there is someone chaining them to your back with words that will never reach your ears. And if you think I'm exaggerating, ask yourself this. Why are most people afraid of ridicule? Why do they postpone decisions because of what people will say? Who are those who talk? Where are they? And why do they have so much power? The answer is simple. Because nobody fears the mistake. They fear the echo. That echo others take care to amplify. That echo that gossipers have turned into their art. So this is not just another video. This is a raw, uncomfortable, and deeply real portrait of the most corrosive figure in the social fabric. The person who lives off other people's stories. Let's break them down. Let's dismantle their psychology. And maybe, just maybe, you'll discover something you didn't expect. That the gossiper isn't just the other person. Sometimes we have also been them. And if you're not ready to hear that, maybe you should stop this video here. Because what comes next is not designed for your comfort. It's designed to unearth what no one wants to say out loud. Are you ready? Because this won't be pleasant. Let's talk about something that happens silently, but has consequences that roar inside you for years. Emotional micro-betrayal. That's the next level of gossip. It's no longer just about talking behind your back. It's about betraying you without you knowing. It's about the smile they offer you while their loyalty no longer belongs to you. Because the gossiper doesn't always seek to destroy you. Sometimes they just want to use your story as currency. Your life becomes their passport to another circle, their key to a conversation where they can be heard. It doesn't matter if what they say is true, fair, or theirs to tell. The only thing that matters is being the bearer of something that turns heads. That's the new form of modern betrayal. The one disguised as a bond, but that's actually a transaction. And that hurts. It hurts more than an insult, more than direct criticism. Because you don't see it coming. Because you gave everything thinking you were facing someone who understood what loyalty meant. But what you didn't know was that you were feeding the next story they would tell elsewhere. It's that brutal. There are people who sit down to eat with you just to have better ingredients for the feast they will throw without you. And they do it without blinking. Not because they're monsters, but because they're broken inside. Because they don't have a center. Because they need external validation at any cost, even if that means selling the intimacy you gave them in confidence. And here we enter an even darker terrain. Betrayal doesn't begin when gossip is shared. It begins when someone listens and doesn't stop it. How many times have you been in a conversation where someone started talking badly about another and you stayed silent? That silence is complicity. It's giving space to destruction disguised as conversation. And that's what nobody tells you. That the gossiper doesn't act alone. They need an audience. They need validation. They need people to laugh, to nod, to feel curiosity. Because gossip cannot sustain itself without spectators. It's a show, and you, even if you don't speak, may be holding the curtain. Now, stop for a moment. Breathe. Think about your closest circles. How many of them speak badly about others with you? How many sit down to tell you things that don't belong to them? And how many of them do you think won't do the same with you when you're not there? That is the simplest and most ignored rule of all. If someone feels comfortable betraying another in front of you, have no doubt they will betray you in front of another. It's not personal, it's their nature, and the more you accept it, the less it will hurt when it happens. But there is something even more perverse behind all this. Something very few want to admit. Gossip not only destroys other people's relationships, it also distorts your identity, yes, yours, because when you become a constant receiver of emotional garbage, adulterated stories, attacks disguised as entertainment, you start to change. What you consume shapes you. Every story loaded with envy, every comment you receive about others deposits something inside you. And without realizing it, you start judging before knowing, you start distrusting before asking, You start acting cautiously, not out of prudence, but out of fear. Gossip doesn't just pollute what others think of you, it pollutes what you think of the world. And that is devastating. Do you want to know what makes a gossiper so addictive? That they seem to know everything. They have information, they have stories, they have access, and you, as a human being, feel the need to be informed, to not be left out. Therein lies the trap. Gossip disguises itself as knowledge, but it's not knowledge, it's intoxication. And the more you expose yourself to it, the cloudier your judgment becomes. The gossiper is not just a poison that destroys external relationships. They are a drug that alters your internal perception. And no, it's not easy to escape, because gossip is camouflaged in the everyday, in a coffee chat, in a casual conversation at a family meal, in that voice message that starts with, "I swear I didn't tell anyone, but..." Every day is a test. Every interaction is a fork, to feed the chain or to break it. And the most terrifying thing is that nobody wants to break it, because the one who breaks it becomes the next topic. Think about it. How many times have you heard someone say, "I don't like gossip," and then you see them throwing indirect jabs disguised as reflections? Gossip has become so sophisticated, so masked, that it has even learned to dress up as virtue. Today they call it concern, giving opinions, informing, just commenting. But if you unmask it, it's still the same. Words that don't build, don't help, don't heal, they only corrode. And now comes the worst part. There are gossips that kill. Not literally, but psychologically. There are people who have never gotten up again since their story was distorted among other people's conversations. There are people who carry a label they never chose. All because of a phrase said at the right moment, with the precise tone, in front of the wrong audience. And the culprit? They don't even remember having said it. Because that's how the gossiper operates. They throw the stone, hide their hand, and smile. But here comes the twist few expect. Gossip is a sign, a symptom of something deeper. A person who lives off gossip is, deep down, someone who feels powerless. Unable to stand out by their own merits, they become narrators of others' lives. They have no story of their own, so they need to appropriate others. Their insecurity disguises itself as analysis. Their envy hides behind casual comments. They don't want to see you fall. They want you to fall to justify their immobility. The gossiper doesn't want you to fail. They want you not to succeed, because your success reminds them of what they don't have. And if they manage to make others see you with suspicion, if they can make others question you, if they can stain your name enough, then they can keep believing you didn't deserve what you've achieved. And that's the core of gossip. It's not information. It's revenge. It's resentment disguised as news. So here we are, exposing a socially accepted but emotionally toxic figure. A type of person who seems harmless, even charming, but who, if you don't detect them in time, can ruin you from within without ever touching you. Not with actions, with words. Words that fly, yes. But that, if you're not ready, stick like invisible needles and condition you forever. And now that you know, what are you going to do with this truth? Because here there are no heroes. Here there are no clean victims. We have all listened, some of us have spoken, but few have the courage to stop it. Are you one of them? This is not over. Because the most dangerous thing about gossip is not its existence, it's its normalization. And what comes next will show you just that. How the gossiper has become an accepted, celebrated, even rewarded figure. And how you, without realizing it, may be applauding the destruction of others while thinking you're just catching up. Keep watching. You haven't seen anything yet. Keep watching. You haven't seen anything yet. And now that we've made it this far, before we continue, I want to present the following to you. Our book, The Formula of Awakening, is now available. Do you feel like there's something inside you that wants to awaken, but you don't know where to start? Then I invite you to transform your way of thinking, and with it, your way of living. Discover who you can become. Start today. The link to get the ebook is in the first pinned comment of this video. Grab your copy now at a great price. With that said, let's continue with the video. Because here is where everything twists. Here is where the real monster appears. The system that rewards the gossiper. It feeds them, applauds them, follows them, shares them. We live in an era where intimacy is merchandise and drama is capital. The more damage you can expose, the more attention you'll get. And the modern gossiper knows it. They no longer hide. They no longer whisper. Now they record, publish, make things viral, and disguise themselves as social commentators, analysts of other people's lives. They self-proclaim spokespersons of the truth while spreading broken, incomplete versions adorned with the exact intention that you fall into the trap of morbid curiosity. Want proof? Watch what type of content is shared fastest. It's not the one that helps. It's not the one that builds. It's the one that scandals, the one that reveals, the one that makes people doubt, the one that stains. And behind every share, there's someone thinking they're just informing. Number you're being complicit. You're participating in a subtle, elegant lynching disguised as entertainment. Meanwhile, the victim, who often doesn't even know what's being said, begins to notice strange looks, unexplained distances, changes in tone, rejection. But they don't understand why. Until one day someone tells them, "They said that you..." And there the free fall begins. Because recovering the truth when others have already consumed the lie is almost impossible. The damage isn't measured in volume, it's measured in the echo. And you, who have made it this far, deserve to hear this. You're not crazy. You're not paranoid. That discomfort you felt, that weird energy when you entered certain places, that intuition that told you something was moving behind you, it was real. You may never hear exactly what was said, but your body felt it. And the worst part of all is that many times, they said it with a smile. Now listen to me carefully. Gossip doesn't die with silence. Gossip dies with internal confrontation, with the conscious choice not to participate, with the radical decision not to feed the machinery of emotional rot. Because yes, the world is full of voices that want to distract you, dirty you, deafen you. But you can be among the few who choose the other path, the one that builds without tearing down, the one who speaks only when words heal, the one who keeps silent when words hurt. And now comes the most important thing I'm going to tell you in this entire video. Gossips have no power over you until you decide to give importance to their words. And if someday you hear they said something about you, don't waste energy trying to clarify. Don't explain anything. Don't seek justice from someone who already decided to believe without asking. Because that person doesn't deserve your version. Don't worry about cleaning your name in dirty mouths. Mud doesn't disappear with water. It dries, falls off, and reveals who crawled to throw it. Make yourself this promise. From today on, when someone comes to you with gossip, don't give them what they want. Don't give them attention. Don't give them validation. Look them in the eyes and say firmly, "And why are you telling me this?" That simple question, so innocent, so direct, disarms, because the gossiper can't live under direct light. Their food is shadow. And here's a challenge for you. Comment below this phrase if you've reached the end of the video and understood what this is all about. I am more than what others say about me. Write it down. Make it yours. And if you see someone else who has written it, give it a like. That will be our way of recognizing each other. Those of us who don't accept the mediocrity of living off other people's lives. Those of us who have decided to build our own. If this video has stirred something inside you, if at any point you've felt attacked, uncomfortable, reflected, then it's working. And if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? This channel isn't for those who want empty entertainment. It's for those willing to look where it hurts. So subscribe now and turn on the bell, because what comes next will be even more uncomfortable. See you in the next video. Or not. Maybe we'll just cross paths in someone's thought. Maybe while a gossiper says your name, you'll be here, silent, growing, without explaining anything, without justifying anything, just moving forward. Remember this and engrave it so it doesn't erase. Those who talk about you when you're not there were already absent long before they opened their mouths. Until then, don't stay silent out of fear, but don't speak without purpose either. And if the world burns with rumors, become the silence that burns. See you in the shadows.